Hello people, so in today's video we are going to be reviewing not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 9 underrated banks in Nigeria. If you've been following my channel, you would know that this is a series that I like doing, and I paused it for some time and now I'm back with some more underrated banks in Nigeria. Now, I genuinely love doing this series because of the fact that I can give these banks an opportunity to shine. Even though my platform might not be so big, but at least I get to talk about these banks and everything else that they have. So without out of the way, let's get started. The first bank that we have on our list is a bank called Stateside Bank, and this bank has about 1,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. Now, I specifically found out about this bank through TikTok. One day I was scrolling and then I saw this bank and I was like, hey, let me download it for this video. And honestly speaking, I love the name Stateside because for some reason it sounds so American, and I think that's cool. Now, if you're going to use Stateside Bank for the first time, this is how the UI looks like. Now, with Stateside, you have a statistics option where you can see your inflow and outflow of money. Now, aside being able to make bank transfers and stuff like any typical bank would, you also have the option to pay bills, and you have a lot of bill options that you can pay for. But however, when I was trying to select the bill payment option, everything, what happened was that my screen basically went black and I had to close the app and log back in. Then everything started working better afterwards, where now that if I just select one option and everything, then it would take some time, but then it would open up. But the one thing that genuinely confuses me is, why is there a BlackBerry option? BlackBerry phones are not sold anywhere, so what's the point of having this option here? Now, when it comes to airtime top-up options, you have the option to either use the 4 elements: water, earth, fire, air. I'm just kidding. This is not Avatar, but you have the option to basically do Airtel, MTN, 9Mobile, and Glow. Stateside allows you to get a physical dollar card. It can be delivered to your home and whatnot, but when it comes to the virtual cards and everything, they do not have that option available right now. Stateside also has some other options as well, which we can also look into. Now, they do have an insurance option, but unfortunately, you cannot even get any insurance at all, as you can see here on the screen. The same thing also applies with loans too. The self-service option allows you to upload your KYC and to enable or disable biometrics and so on. Overall, I think that Stateside is a bank that you guys can try out and everything, even though currently they are very, very underrated. So yeah, if you feel like trying it out, you can go download it on your phone. The next bank on our list is a bank called Loma Bank, and this bank has about 5,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. Now, if you're using Loma Bank for the first time, this is how their UI looks like. Now, honestly speaking, when it comes to the UI, it basically looks like a bill payment app. Like, all those bill point and so on. That is the vibes that this UI is giving me. If I'm being very honest with you, like, it just doesn't feel enough like a bank. Like, that's just my personal opinion though, but maybe for you guys that might use it, then it might not be your personal opinion. Now, with Loma Bank, when you're registering on it for the first time, they give you the option to make your phone number your bank account number and everything, just like how you would do it with OP and stuff. But however, for me, I opted not to use that option. Now, if you want to add funds to your account, if someone has the Loma Bank app, they can basically send you money using your username on the app, or if you have your account number, you can basically use that too. When it comes to bank transfers, it's kind of the same thing too, where you can send money to anyone who uses any bank in Nigeria, or you can send money to anyone who has a Loma Bank account, or if you know someone's username, you can send money there as well. Now, when it comes to the bill payment options, you have the option to either buy airtime or data. And I almost forgot to mention, you can still pay for bills for your TV subscriptions like your DSTV, GoTV, and so on, or for your electricity as well. Now, overall, I think Loma Bank is a pretty chill app in my opinion, and if you're somebody who likes all those bill payment apps and stuff, then this is something that you can try. The next bank on our list is a bank called Digitvant Pay, and basically they have about 10,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. Now, I have talked about Digitvant in the past. You can check the description box below for that video. And fun fact, I found out about this bank when I traveled to Lagos, so I kept on seeing their billboards everywhere. It made me to download their app, and funny enough, the hotel that we slept in when we went to Lagos was right next to their branch and everything, and I was so impressed. But I couldn't even enter the branch because when I had found out about this, it was during a weekend when the banks are closed and everything, so I couldn't even enter inside and look at everything else, but it's still fine though. Now, if you are using Digitvant for the first time, this is how their UI and everything looks like. And I know, yes, I'm poor, I just have 100 naira to my name. When it comes to sending money, you literally have so many options that you can send to literally any bank in Nigeria. With the bank, you also have the option to buy either airtime or any data plan of your choice with any of the networks in Nigeria, like MTN, Airtel, Glo, and 9Mobile. You do have the option to pay for either your cable TV or electricity, but however, when I had tried to select the cable TV option, it wasn't working at all. So yeah, you can't use it to pay for your cable TV, but your electricity, your data, your airtime, it's all good. But with Digitvant, you do have the option to save money here and everything. So if you're looking for somewhere where you can save money in a cool and convenient type of way, then you should be looking at Digitvant. Overall, Digitvant is still a good bank to try, even though yes, they may not have all the features and everything that you might want, but still it is a convenient type of bank that you guys can test out and everything if you would like it. The next bank on our list is a bank called Rubies Bank, and this bank sits at about 100,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. And if you're using Rubies for the first time, this is how their UI looks like. Honestly speaking, I love this dark design. It just looks super cool and it looks just very, very modern. Now, when it comes to the bill payments and everything, these are what you can pay for. You can pay for a lot of things here, which I think is just pretty cool and stuff. So yeah, so if you see something that you want to pay for on Rubies, then this is it. Now, when it comes to transferring money and stuff, this is how it works. So basically, you type in the account number and everything, and from there, the bank should pop up and everything. This reminds me of like GT World's app with GT Bank and everything. Like if you've used it before, like they use this type of system as well, which I think is pretty cool. Now, if you click on the plus symbol here, you will see two icons, one with a message icon and one with a shopping cart icon. The message icon allows you to basically check your contacts and everything, and you can basically send a link to the Rubies Bank app for them so that they can open an account and stuff. As for the shopping cart icon, I'm mostly seeing churches here, so I will just assume that this is maybe for giving offerings and stuff in the church and everything, which I think isn't bad at all. Now with Rubies, you have the option to get a physical card from Verve, or you can get a virtual card. And the virtual cards right now, they're not ready, so yeah, you just have to manage the physical card. Now to get a card with Rubies, you need to pay 4,750 naira, and personally speaking, I think this amount is too much for a debit card, because Verve cards do not cost that much. There's a bank I went to, they told me to get one is 2,000 naira. OPay trade charge about 1,000 naira for this card. And then there's this bank that I use, it's called Capital Metric. It's a microfinance bank, and basically their cards were free. If you live in Lagos, you can go and get one for free, or if you want it to be delivered to you nationwide or within Lagos, you just need to pay 2,000 naira. So I don't see like why this 4,750 naira is justified in my opinion, because at the end of the day, you're still accessing the same stuff that any other Verve card would give you. This is just my personal thoughts. I'm not here to attack the bank or anything, but still, this is my personal thoughts on this. But one thing I do like about this card is the fact that you can put any name you want. So as you can see, I put a name here and everything, and I think it's funny. So yeah, if you want to use Rubies because you like what they have to offer and stuff, then go ahead and you can try out Rubies and stuff. The next bank on our list is a bank called Accion Mobile that has about 100,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. If you are using Accion for the first time, this is how their UI looks like. Now, there were two options on the bank that I tried to use, which are the scan to pay feature and the buy now, pay later feature. And when I clicked on two of these options respectively, they did not work. So they're still coming soon. They're in the works and stuff. When it comes to bill payment, these are the options they have available when it comes to your cable TV and also when it comes to your electricity as well. Now, for this bank, you can buy airtime or data, but however, you cannot buy 9Mobile for some reason, but everything else you can get them. And you have this option called T2 and international. I'm not sure what T2 means, but for international, it means that you can get like airtime or data from any country. Now, with this app, you can get a loan and everything, but you have to enable your location and fill in some paperwork, which I'm obviously not going to show you guys and stuff because I don't really like getting loans at all. And you do have this feature called save to loan that if you can invest money and stuff, then they allow you to take more loans and everything out and everything. But for me, I don't want to go into this thing because personally I do not take out loans and everything. So yeah, now you have a lot of options as to what banks you can send money to with Accion Mobile. Now, I would have said that you could get a debit card from Accion, but unfortunately you can't because it's coming soon. But with Accion, you do have the option to save money and you get about 21.5% per annum. Overall, I would say that Accion isn't bad at all, but I would have liked it if now that all those coming soon options were available to the customer right now. The next bank on our list is a bank called Dot Microfinance Bank, and this bank has about 10,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. Now, if you go on the Play Store or App Store and you check the page of this bank there, you would see different options and everything. So we're gonna concentrate on the personal banking app and not Dot Pay or Dot Business or Dot HMO or all that type of stuff. No. Now, if you are using Dot Personal Banking for the first time, this is how the app looks like. Now, I remember earlier before I prepared this video and stuff, I remember Dot, they had called me saying thank you for opening an account with them and everything, and honestly speaking, I was happy. But then I had asked them a question about what inspired the inception of this bank, and they said they'll get back to me, and boom, I never heard anything from them at all. So that's really weird. Anyway, Dot has a point/reward system, and if you click on it, basically it's a referral program where now that if you refer more people to the bank and everything, you get more points that can become money and stuff. So yeah, if you want to use Dot under me, you can do that if you want to. Now with Dot, you can basically send money to any Nigerian bank, and basically like for any bank you send money to, they have the logo of the bank there. And I always love it when I see banks putting the logo of other banks and everything, because it just makes everything feel so unique. Now when it comes to airtime, you can buy for the 4 elements, which are Airtel, MTN, Glo, and 9Mobile. And at the same time, you can also buy for Smile, which is like the 5th element. But when it comes to buying data, you can buy data for the 6th element, which is SpectraNet. Now, Dot also has an investment option where you can save money and you get about 30% per annum. Now, with Dot, you can also schedule transfers as well. But one thing I like is the bank monitor feature. With this feature, you can see the network strength of any bank you send money to. And the higher the network strength is, the higher the success rate of the transfer and everything. While the lower means that it is less successful to transfer and everything. Now, you can pay for other bills as well, such as cable TV, electricity, and even for your betting, for those people who love sporty bet and all that stuff. You also have a hide cash balance feature, and you even have a dark mode feature too, which I think is really cool. Overall, I think that Dot is a pretty cool bank that I personally want to try out even more. I think I remember when we traveled to Lagos last month, I saw their like banner and everything. Like I saw their ads and everything everywhere. So yeah, I think I like Dot. The next app we have on our list is a bank called Bankit, and they have about 50,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. And if you are using Bankit for the first time, this is how their UI looks like. When it comes to bill payments, you have different options and stuff like airtime, data, and so on. When you click on the more option, you see stuff for ISPs, which are internet service providers, and to also pay for water, but those aren't ready. They're coming soon. When it comes to the cable TV options, unfortunately, the only option they have is for you to only pay for GoTV. You can't pay for DSTV or StarTimes or even Showmax. The same thing also applies to the electricity option. You only have 5 different options, and that is low. But for airtime and data, you can buy for all the 4 elements, which are Airtel, MTN, Glo, and 9Mobile. Now, Bankit is not a bad option and everything for whoever wants to use it. I mean, they do have 50,000 people who have downloaded the app and stuff. So yeah, I don't think the app is bad at all. The next app on our list is an app called Bellbank, and this bank has about 10,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. If you're using Bellbank for the first time, this is how their UI looks like. Now, when it comes to top-up options, you just have 3 of them that actually work, which include bank transfer, request funds, and the QR code option. With the bank transfer option, it gives you your Bellbank account that you can share to anyone that will send you money. When it comes to the request funds option, basically, if you know someone else that has the Bellbank app and everything, you can get their username and you can get them to send you money or vice versa. When it comes to QR code, basically, you set an amount that you want, and then from there, what will happen is that it creates a QR code for you, and then somebody who has the Bellbank app can basically scan your QR code, and from there, they can send you money from there. You also have other bill payment options as well, like cable TV, electricity, and so on. And with Bellbank, you can basically buy data for MTN, Airtel, 9Mobile, Glo, SpectraNet, and Smile. And for cable TV, you have the option to pay for your DSTV, your GoTV, your StarTimes, and even your Showmax. And when it comes to electricity, you have a lot of options for different states in Nigeria. And for Bellbank, you have an analytics option that can show you your inflow and outflow of money. And finally, you have the option to get a debit card from Bellbank. Now, my advice to you is quite simple. If you want to get a debit card from them, please, it is much more preferred that you would get a Verve card from them than an AfriGO card. And why do I say this? Check the video in the description box below that talks about the AfriGO cards and stuff, and you will understand why. Overall, I don't think that Bellbank is a bad app and everything. I like that it's pretty cool, and I believe that people should actually use it. Finally, we have the Cash Matrix app, and this app has about 10,000 plus downloads on the Google Play Store. Now, if you're using Cash Matrix for the first time, this is how their app looks like. Now, unfortunately, I cannot even show you the full extent of this app. Why? Now, I have some issues with the app and everything. Now, they're asking me for my date of birth and everything so that they can do the whole KYC thing. Now, providing my date of birth is not a problem, but here's what the problem is. They take you to a page where they do a liveness check and everything, and that is not even the issue. The issue is the fact that I literally can't do the liveness check because of the fact that my number, they're putting +247 there, and you can't change it at all. There's nothing you can do to change it at all, and you cannot proceed with the whole liveness check at all, which is just a very stupid thing, because how do you want people to bank with you when you're restricting them in that type of sense? So yeah, that is all for today's video. Which of these banks will you be using personally and why? Comment below, and as always, I hope I see you guys next time.